the search. Joe, what sort of leads, in addition to the landfill and the pond, have you had? What sort of cooperation? You know, I understand that your organization has requested of the Vandersloots that you go on their property. You wanted to look at this particular well. Is there a reason for that?
We just wanted to make sure we offered them the opportunity to let us come on board on their property and check out the well among other properties. And I want to correct the defense attorney there. EquiSearch works very closely with the Aruban authorities and very closely with the authorities back in our own home state of Texas. Whenever we find something, we always back off, call the authorities, and they come out and excavate it or pick it up. We do not tamper with evidence. We do not destroy evidence. We basically help the authorities from a searching standpoint. We're not investigators. All we're here to do is to search and nothing else.
So if you found something, you would basically notify officials before you touch, so there's no chain of custody problem, that kind of thing?
It's just like when we found an excavated site in the Boca Prince sand dunes. What we did, we checked it out, we saw it, we called our experts out, they looked at it, we called the police in, let the police go through the site. All we did was stand back and watch. They're the investigators, not EquiSearch. And we do find something that looks suspicious, we call the police in, they come in, they check it out, and they either take it or they dismiss it, one or the other.
Yeah. TJ, what about the other aspects of the investigation? What about the people that she was vacationing with, other classmates? I understand there was some sort of interaction at Carlos and Charlie where another young man got in a pushing match, shoving match with Johan Vandersloot. Was that over, Natalee? Do you have any more details about these other people?
Well, just to tell you, the FBI has interviewed these classmates in Alabama. That has been done. And the defense attorney here, just for one thing, we have the right people under the microscope right now. The last person that was with Natalee Holloway is Vandersloot. And with the other two boys that were also in the car, they have knowledge about what transpired also. I've been doing investigations for 30 years, and we are on the right page. We used a layered voice analysis on some of the information that we received, and I can also tell you that Paul Vandersloot has knowledge of this disappearance. He's very well aware of what's going on, and that's why he is sweating bullets every time somebody shows up at his house. And the media is not here chasing stories and so on and so forth. They're getting reliable information that's coming from professionals that are here on the island, and getting information from us that we're allowed to give to them and keep the people aware of what is going on down here. It's a sad situation. And as far as the chain of evidence, if you want to go back to the prosecutor of the Aruban authorities for transporting a hair sample that could have been something to it, her taking evidence to the crime lab, talking about chain of custody, now that would be something to attack if the defense attorney would look at that. I brought that to the attention of two defense attorneys here in Aruba, which they defended the prosecutor for taking evidence to the crime lab. A prosecutor would never transport evidence to the crime lab to put herself in a situation she'd be cross-examined. So there are things that are done here that are completely different to what's done in the U.S. We all relate to laws and how practices are in the United States. I can tell you, for being here for 5 weeks now, off and on, that things are completely different here in their practices of law, both law enforcement, the court system, the defense attorneys, and the plaintiffs in this case are completely different than we're used to or accustomed.
All right, we have to take a quick break, but just by the way, I don't know whether we're promoting or demoting Ernie Rizzo, but he's actually a PI working for the family and not a defense lawyer. But on the other side, the emotional toll of searching for a loved one.
She never made it in this morning. And I panicked. I called the police, and I raced over here and found her car.
It's amazing to watch that. That was Mark Hacking the day his wife disappeared. Of course, he later pled guilty to killing her, but only after her body was recovered from a landfill, and that search took 3 months to complete. Lori's brother, Paul Soares, joins us by phone, knows what Natalee's family must be going through. Paul, watching the pictures there of Mark, just a moment to reflect back, how long did you buy the story that he had nothing to do with this? Because he's looking straight into the camera and lying through his teeth.
We bought the story until probably Tuesday afternoon, or I guess Wednesday afternoon. We found out that he hadn't gone to med school, hadn't gone to college, and that's when it started to really hit us that there's something wrong here.
Well, try and put yourself in the shoes of Natalee's parents right now. As you got the information about the landfill, the search began day after day after day. What was that like?
It was horrible. I can't even imagine going through that again. I sympathize and feel so much for her parents because it's just an awful experience. You know, we'd been out to the landfill while they were searching, and it is just an experience that just to be out at a landfill is an experience that is overwhelming, and for those people to be searching for her, it's very difficult.
Everybody talks about the hope that families retain, and certainly we all want to express that, but when you realized that he was lying, when you knew the blood on the mattress and some of the information, when they went to the landfill, were you still day after day believing, seriously hoping that she was alive, or were you hoping for closure that might come with the finding of a body?
You always hope for that she will appear, but realistically, we knew that the worst had happened. We just wanted closure. At that point, after we knew that Lori was not going to come back, that we just wanted at least her remains to return, that we could give her a decent burial. And I'm sure that's right now what Natalee's parents are going through. They just want her back.
Did that provide any sort of closure?
Yeah, it did, in the sense that at least we knew where she was at. At least we knew that she was now buried in a decent spot. The idea of her being buried in a landfill was just something that was overwhelming for us.
What about the Aruban investigation? The things that you're hearing, I'd like to say that it's much different for the better over here, but certainly the Dutch authorities seem to be doing as much as they possibly can.
I think it's always easy for us to always second guess and want more in an investigation. I found in our experience that we just had to turn our trust over to the Salt Lake authorities and trust that they did know best. And that's all that we could do, because we couldn't do anything ourselves. We just had to put our belief and our trust in them. And in our case, at least, it proved to be a good trust, because they did do an excellent job.
Did you ever find the details of Mark's conversation with his brother in the psychiatric facility? And did you ever learn why he wouldn't give more information to the authorities?
According to Mark's attorney, Mark was told not to give any more information to the authorities, that he was restricting it. To be honest with you, though, Catherine, who knows? Nothing that we're being told you can believe. Mark's history of truth is not very strong, so who knows what the truth is.
Right. Thank you so much. Before we go, I want to get back to TJ about a question that Ernie raised. This information about the male DNA on the toothbrush, possible relationships with someone other than Johan. Are you finding any information about this? And if that DNA is there, it's certainly a question you're going to have to resolve.
Well, we haven't heard anything back around about the toothbrush, and hopefully we will here shortly. I did want to bring up one other remark about the defense attorneys, about the witness later that came out about the landfill. I don't think it's about the money, because the money didn't change in position. The $1 million is for the safe return of Natalee Holloway, and the $100,000 has not changed for information leading to her whereabouts. So the $100,000 has been in place for some time now. You have to understand the citizens of Aruba, some of them are very scared, petrified of giving information in fear of things happening to them, as much as losing their job, or in fear of being arrested for whatever reason, somebody being offended from information being brought out. So, you know, you have to take a little bit of that into consideration from some of this information coming out, and it's not all the fact about the reward money. In fact, the reward money's here. The $100,000 has gone up to bring, if she is still alive, that'll to get somebody's attention. If she has been taken someplace other than here, or somebody's holding her against her will, that hopefully, with no questions asked, this $1 million would be, without any reservation, would be given to that person for her safe return.
All right. Well, much, much appreciated. Paul Soares, our very best to your family. Ernie Rizzo, TJ Ward, Joe Houston, and Lisa Bloom. Thanks a lot. Now, coming up, investigators suspect something fishy took place on George Smith's honeymoon cruise, and we're going to see what our panel thinks after the break.